Hello guys, I hope you are all doing well. In first part, we have seen the ratio analysis. Now let's get into the balance sheet portion, how to see the balance sheet and what all things are covered in the balance sheet. So firstly, I'll go to the skinner.in and I'll log in. So now I'll search for a company. Say I want to analyze Astral. So this is the Astral. You can see the initial portion. It gives the introduction market capitalization, then stock P, ROC, ROE, etc. PG ratio. Now, if you see the various tabs, this is charts, then some analysis, peers, quarters, profit and loss statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, ratios, then the shareholding pattern, and some documentation. So now let's go into the balance sheet. Now the balance sheet, if you can see, uh, this is year on year and it is given in consolidated form. If you want to see standalone, you can click this. Standalone means if any company is having, say, for example, 4 or 5 businesses and you want to just see that particular business, then you can see standalone. But it is better to see the consolidated figures because it covers the entire company as a whole, including all the subsidiaries. Now this is year wise, so we will see the March is the latest one. The September is just a half yearly, but we can see yearly is March 2024, then 23, then 22. It is in a reverse order. Now, as you can see, the equity capital which has increased to 27. Then there are reserves. The reserves is a very positive sign if it increases year on year. That means company has more assets and more reserves as a cash also. Then we come to the borrowing part. So these are long-term borrowing and short-term borrowings. Long-term borrowings are the loans for a longer term and short-term borrowings are the loans taken for a short duration for small expenses. Then some lease liability may not be significant and other borrowings. In this case, it is now become zero. And there is a other liability also, and the interest on that, trade payables. This is what company has to pay to its suppliers, and some customers they have taken advance. So this is the reflected in advance, and other liability is given. So in total liability is, this is the sum total of everything, all the previous rows. And as per the balance sheet rule, the liability and assets are equal. Then only the equation of the balance sheet becomes correct. Now let's see what assets it has. So fixed assets, it may be in the form of machinery, it may be form of factory, land, and other machineries. So this is increasing. Again, the land also they are buying for various purposes. Building also they are building new plants or new plant buildings. Plant machinery they are buying new. That means they are expanding into the business in different verticals. Equipment cost as of now zero. This is then the computers. They have purchased new computers, furnitures and fittings. vehicles. They must have bought the new vehicles to for conveyance of the staff. Then there are some intangible assets. You must be knowing the difference between the tangible and intangible assets. So this is also counted towards the assets and some other fixed assets. Now, if you come down further, this is a gross block. Whatever we have seen on this from fixed assets till other fixed assets is all total is a gross assets, or you can say gross block. Then there are some depreciation on the machinery and buildings. Then CWIP, that means current works in progress. This is basically whatever they have done the capital expenditure or capex. This comes under this current works in progress. So they must have taken up some new construction of plant and machinery. Then investments as of now, zero. Let's come to the other. Then some inventories they are holding, as we saw in the inventory turnover ratio. There are some inventories they are holding and it is increasing. Then trade receivables. This is the money they own from their customers. Trade payables was the money which is due to the suppliers, and trade receivable is money due from the buyers. Cash equivalents. This includes hard cash or equivalent of cash in the form of FDs or some deposits or bonds maybe. Then loans and advances and other asset items. This total sums up to the 4496, and the same was the figure of liability. So this is how the balance sheet is, both sides balance itself. See, 4496, 4496. Now this balance sheet uh, in standalone doesn't give much of an idea. The only main portion we should see that the borrowing should, on a period of time, it should reduce. So from 275, 191, 80, 98, 87, it reduced. Then again it increased. That means company must have taken some loan for the further expansion. Then reserves must increase. Assets must increase, which is in this case it is increasing. And trade uh, payables, that means company is taking money from the stuff from the suppliers and is able to convince them to pay as late as possible. So they are having a better, I would say, trade power with their suppliers, that they are able to hold on to the more payables, more money to be given to the suppliers for a longer duration. That is why this is increasing. Same way, if you see the trade receivables, this is also increasing. That means the buyers are also not, uh, maybe I would say, paying up by taking more time, and that is why this is also increasing. So ideally this should be reducing, and trade payables should be, can be stable or can be increasing. So this is all we can understand from the balance sheet. So that is for all today, and we will see the profit and loss statement in the next video. So stay tuned.